Basically, the idea of the piece is to look at what's iconic about Northern Ireland without looking at the pre-established icons like the Horn and Wolf, Cranes and Titanic and George Best and Van Morris and those pre-established icons. When I lived in Newport, I had cravings quite a lot for soda bread and potato bread, and especially wheaten bread, you know. And whenever I started working on this piece, I sort of realised that those types of bread are only really available in Northern Ireland, and for that reason, they stand to represent us as a nation. So I sort of figured that if anything, they were iconic of Northern Irish culture and life.
Do you think other people would agree with you that it's not just you that has cravings, but other people really look to bread?
I've spoke to a lot of people that have lived away for some years, and I've had many conversations about how much bread they've stashed into their suitcase, and I've done the same myself. Having to pay the extra duty on the airplane just to get my bread over. So I don't think I'm the only one. I think it's a big thing. Yeah. There's a lot of things that are overlooked as iconic. I think that's what works so well about this piece is that bread, it's everyday, it's mundane, it's something we take for granted. So to enlarge the photographs to the size and the bread is larger than life, that really sort of helps to put them on a pedestal and make them become iconic.
How important is the city or the country of Northern Ireland to your photography? Do you think that you're definitely like a Belfast photographer?
I think I've always tried not to be, but in the last couple of years I've started become really inspired by the city.
Why do you think you tried not to be? What does that mean?
Well, I tried not to be sort of labelled as a Northern Irish photographer, or I wanted to be just known as who I am, not where I'm from. But lately I've been sort of thinking of a few ideas that sort of incorporate the Belfast city landscape. Maybe it's somewhat controversial, but I'm thinking of photographing the areas of Belfast that were bombed during the Blitz to sort of enlarge them to massive scale and sort of Photoshop them and retouch them to look like it's a futuristic or not too distant future bomb site. So maybe a play on the war and terrorism and how the world could go.
Slightly apocalyptic, or just a little bit?
Yeah, slightly apocalyptic, sort of thinking World War III doomsday, and so Belfast City just in ruins.
Would you say that war figures a lot into your photography or into your thinking about your choices, what to focus on?
Yeah, it's starting to. I've never really been that political. Coming from Northern Ireland and sort of being surrounded by politics and the war here, I've always tried to distance myself from that just because it frustrated me. I was away for 5 years, and now that I've come back, I see that Northern Ireland's a lot more peaceful and it's a lot more beautiful to live in. I really enjoy that. So, if I can sort of maybe place those feelings into photography, that will maybe inspire other people to, try and stop war.